And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. About an hour and a half as I record this. It is 4:11, so actually an hour and 20 minutes before we start session 2 of the 64th Annual NAIA National Wrestling Championships from here in Hartman Arena, Park City, Kansas, just north of Wichita. Second year in a row we've been here. I'm announcing with Dort Mayab. I am in a bubble. Yes, there is plastic around me. Plastic around me. And that's pretty much how it's doing. I don't have my equipment. I'm just going right off the webcam. I'm going to give you an update of round 1 or session 1. And some of the things that went on here. This is one of my favorite tournaments. I've been attending it since 2012. Shout out to the former Amanda Dahl, now known as Amanda Immel. She was working for the NAIA, got me to talk Gary Abbott into letting me cover this thing one weekend back in 2012 when it was in Des Moines. I could double up. I covered the West Regional and Division I. That was at Northern Iowa that next day. So after that, it was pretty much I've been here ever since. So I've been broadcasting here. I've been announcing here. Again, Dort Mayab, exit stage left. She's not here right now. But that's basically how it's been for me here. And I love this division. It is the fastest growing division in men's collegiate wrestling. I think I had a tweet earlier that I actually had to correct. So in 2000, I wrote this down. In 2000, there were 19 teams that competed in the NAIA Championships. 10 of those are still in existence. Others have either dropped or they've moved on to NCAA Division II or reclassified. So the old school teams are Montana State, Northern, Southern Oregon, Dickinson State, Dakota Wesleyan, Missouri Valley, the University of the Cumberlands, which was then known as Cumberland College, Briarcliff, Northwestern College in Iowa, Jamestown in North Dakota, and Cumberland University. There are 74 teams that will start next year or be active next year. And right now, let's look at a couple of those new programs that are leading the way. Grandview, 38.5. Punched 9 of their 12 through into the quarterfinals, but Life, led by Grandview alum Omi Acosta, they've got 10 of their 12 into the quarterfinals, 33 points. Lindsey Wilson, 28 points, and Reinhardt, after a kind of a dicey first round, picked it up in the second round. They have 24 points. University of the Cumberlands in 5th, along with Indiana Tech, 19.5. So a couple early losses for Grandview, but I'll go weight by weight in some of the things that jumped out at me. So top seed Justin Portillo, 3-time All-American. He's one more win away from being a 4-time All-American for Grandview. He's going to have Carter Cox of Cumberland University. So the upset there, Gage Hudson of the University of the Cumberlands knocked off the 5-seed Nathan Orem and then beat the 12-seed. He is against Orem's brother Brandon, who goes to Life in the quarterfinals. Down low, Lucas Nelson, the 2-seed, presses on, as does number 7 Daniel Vargas, Isaac Kroll, the 6, and Randy McCray, the 3. Nothing crazy there at 125. Now the bracket is folded backwards a little bit, so pardon me here. Now 133, twins, Matt and Connor Gimson. They are number 1 and number 3 seeds in your brackets and in your hearts. Nick Coons, the returning champion at 125 pounds. He is up at 133. He's the 4 seed. He's going to have Esco Walker from Cumberland University. Walker beat him 2 years ago when Walker was at North Idaho. Gimson's going to take on 8-seeded Dominic Ariano of Baker. Down low, Gimson, the other Gimson, Connor, who actually Matt and Connor met in the 7th and 8th place match last year. I mentioned that on the preview show. Is going to take on Mario Ibarra, the 6 seed. Down low, it is the 10 seed Taylor Vasquez of Morningside and Carson Taylor of Grandview. So again, nothing too crazy there. 141, let's just do some filling out of some things real quick. Let's fill that. I forgot to fill this bottom half out. So you're getting like the shoot from the hip version here of yours truly. So Badardine Boldma, the returning national champion from Doan, the Mongolia native, undefeated on the year. He's going to have Austin Wallace Lister, last year's runner-up at 133. So a finalist and a champion meeting in the top quarter. 12-seeded Bryce Nickel, University of the Cumberlands, will be in there against Blake Mulkey of Marion. Tyree Johnson, the 3 seed, is going to take on Nick Johnson from Life, and Nick Henneman, the 6 seed from Lords. Henneman was an All-American 2 years ago, did not place last year. Ryan Moore, just one victory away from becoming Thomas More, M-O-R-E, their first All-American in the sport of wrestling. They were a Division III school. They reclassified to the NAIA. So we're waiting to see Ryan Moore at Cornell transfer, Big Cornell, not Iowa Cornell. And Kendon Lee, the number 2 seed, returning finalist from Grandview, sitting down there. So for new programs, the things that I like to look at, Ryan Moore and Kendon Lee is what I'm looking at. 41, this got crazy. This got absolutely crazy. We started off with 2 All-Americans beaten in the first round. I talked about this. Trent Johnson, Lindsey Wilson, Jonathan McGowan, and that was a tight one. That was 4-2 that Johnson, the top seed, prevailed. So then down low, Andreas Bond of Southeastern. pinned the number 2 seed, Anthony Maya from Cumberland University. So the 2 goes down right off the bat. So we're looking at the top of the bracket. We've got a number 5 Denver Stonecheck and number 4 Marty Margolis. Stonecheck last year's runner-up at the weight class. And then unseeded Brock Rodriguez from Providence gets in as Bailey Moore from Marion hit Grandview first. The number 3 seed Trevor Anderson went down in the pigtail. So, for round 1, for lack of a better term. There's enough pigtails here. So Grandview took its first loss there. Then Rodriguez beat Moore to advance to take on John Fox from York, returning All-American there. The number 10 and unseeded Andreas Bond. So the number 10 will be Nate Wheeler of Indiana Tech. So Grandview lost a 3 right there. 1, 2, and 3. So it gets even better. 1 and 2, Johnson and Maya met in the bottom half of the bracket after Jack Latimer from Arizona Christian, who's also a match away from becoming the Firestorm's first All-American. So Latimer upset Johnson. That drops Johnson and Maya, the 1 and 2 seeds, in the bracket, down low, consolation round 2. Maya comes away with a win. The number 1 seed out at 149. So we got a couple schools here. Keep an eye on Andreas Bond and Wheeler. And then Jack Latimer, the unseeded Arizona Christian freshman, is going to take on John Diener from Morningside. Diener, a Kaukauna galloping ghost. All of my shout-out Scott Cleaver. 157 pounds. This one, top-seeded Nolan Saxon survived the scare from Creed Lump, who is from Bluefield. Bluefield is in Virginia. Actually, Lump, a George Mason transfer, started his career there from Christiansburg. Actually had to wrestle a Grundy guy. And those of you from Virginia actually might find some funniness about that. Creed Lump beat Jacob McNutt from the University of Cumberland's opening round. Lost in overtime. Number 18, Bryce Coleman, got past Cooper McCullough of Corbin. Wilder Wickman, another Thomas Moore wrestler looking to break through. He's going to have Tanner Abbas from Grandview. Grandview's Giovanni Bonilla, returning All-American. He is into the quarters. We'll take on Jack Bass, Israel Cesarez of Graceland, and Derek Smallwood. Seeds hold there. Actually, let's see. Yeah, all the seeds 1, 8, 4, 5, 6. Yep, seeds held at 57. 65, top seed Kyle Caldwell of Grandview prevails. Second-seeded Dalton Jensen of Grandview. Grandview was 1 and 2 here. In case you've forgotten about what the NAI does, you can enter 12 at the qualifier. And if those 12 can qualify through the Nationals, they qualify through the Nationals. So it's 2 to 8, for example. That way, sometimes we've had 2 guys meet in the finals against one another in the same team. And actually, Grandview's had that not that long ago. So number 2 seed Dalton Jensen won his first match against Dracus McKee from Texas Wesleyan, and then wrestling David Rubio from Corbin. Rubio won the bout, but it was kind of painful to watch. Dalton Jensen hurt his knee. One knee was already braced, and the other knee, and he tried to gut it out, and he finished the match, but Rubio knocked off the second seed. And that whole bottom bracket is just bonkers. The number 11 seed got beat. The number 6 seed got beat, actually by the same guy, Elliot Rogers from Marion. Knocks off both Cole Tennedy, returning All-American, and Jordan Comack from the University of Providence, which is in Montana. Used to be known as Great Falls. And then unseeded Kyle Kirkham from Southeastern beats number 10, Chris Paulson of Briarcliff, and number 7, Joe Kuntz of Lindsey Wilson. So down there, Rubio's unseeded. Kirkham is unseeded. One of those wrestlers is going to be an All-American and make the semifinals to take on the winner of Elias Valwifi from Missouri Valley, the only top seed left down there. Valwifi actually wrestled for American Samoa at the World Championships in 2019. Yeah. Seriously, he started his career South Dakota State. He's a Missouri guy. I think Independence. So he's out there, and he's the 3. He's going to take on Rogers. So 3 of the 4 down low, unseeded. Up top, we've got Frederick Padilla of Vanguard. Cole Smith, Old Dominion transfers, number 5 seed. He's going to take on Sid Ohl, OHL, Ashland transfer from Life. So 65, a little bit wacky down low, 174 pounds. Returning national champion Brennan Swafford from Graceland, looking sharp. Had a fall. He's going to take on Joseph Egley of Morningside in that top bracket quarterfinal. Isaac Llewellyn, the 5, and Jared Swank, the 4. So 4, 5. So 1, 2, let's see, 1, 4, 1, 9, 5, and 4. Words are really kind of struggling here right now for me. Armin Fayazi and Malik Salah, the 3 and the 6 in the top bracket quarter. Changing Pelaglazov as Frankie James from Campbellsville walks right by me. And down low, 10th-seeded Asher Eichert. Now, if you remember talking to Tom Maloney, he called this kid out. He said he's super lanky. Yeah, he's super lanky. He beat Keegan Mulhill, the number 7 seed. And then he's got number 2 seed Casey Randalls of Grandview in quarterfinals. Now, let's move to 184. And this one is another one where stuff just went crazy. The top seed and returning national finalist Riley Jaramillo from St. Mary, not just upset in the first round, 2 and Q He got beat in the first round by Cole Hansen, got packed by Carl Hansen, not Cole Hansen, Carl Hansen from Montana State Northern, and then got beat on the backside quickly. So Riley Jaramillo had a shortened season. St. Mary had some issues with social. They defaulted out of the conference tournament just so they could get their guys here. They got a couple wild cards. A lot of these guys had some mat rust on them. I'm going to probably chalk that up to a combination of guys ready to come wrestle and guys that were they just didn't have enough mat time sometimes this year. So up top, Tyson Boperthy from Midland and Blake Hadwin. So the number 9 and an unseeded Blake Hadwin, second time through junior college All-American. And down low, up top, David Richardson, the down low of the top bracket, if that makes sense, the number 12. And Tyler Hall from Lindsey Wilson, transferred from Embry-Riddle, where he was an All-American 2 seasons ago. And then number 3, Grandview took another hit. So they've had 2 3 seeds now and then a 2 seed. So Ben Lee was upended in the first round by Miles Stark from Life. And then Stark was beaten by Trajan Hurd, an unseeded national junior college champion, to come in. He's going to take on Drew Sams of Graceland, a solid number 6. Sam Osho, the number 10 seed from Marion, going to sit down there and take on the number 2 seed, Eric Vermillion, at 184. Let's just keep rolling. Now 197, again, not too many crazy things happening here. Isaac Bartell, 3-time All-American, 2-time runner-up last year. I pointed this out, this is his vision quest. He came back last year, was going to redshirt to try to stop Evan Hansen from Grandview from winning 4 titles. Didn't happen, was still in the finals. He is the top seed. He's been looking sharp. Just pretty good so far. He's going to take on Carson Savage in the top bracket quarterfinals. Diallo Matsamela had some troubles but got through. He pushed through. He'll take on Zane Lanham of Life. It's Life versus Life there in the quarterfinals. So you got teammates meeting in the 4 or 5. Antonio Stewart from Reinhardt has moved up from 184, where he was a 3-time All-American, to now 197. He is in the quarters, going to take on the number 6 seed Easton Randleman of Oklahoma City. While down low, the number 10 seed Jack Serbies of Marion pushes through. He knocked off the number 7 seed Bradley Antisberger from Doane, and he will take on the number 2 seed Trevor Lawson from Lindsey Wilson. At number 1 and your heart, number 1 in your brackets, Brandon Reed from Lindsey Wilson, going for his 3rd national championship. He's a 3-time All-American, plays 4th as a freshman, has won the last 2 titles, 2 matches, 2 falls. That boy is good. All right, so Reed's going to take on unseeded Joel Flaglier of Bruton Parker. Malik Caton's the 5, and returning All-American Patrick DiPiazza, 4-5 push through there. Number 3 seed Aaron Johnson, returning All-American. He pushed through. The 6 seed Nola Roscoe gets through in typical heavyweight fashion. So 7-2. So that one's chalk, with the exception of the 8 seed, who was upset by Flaglier. So team scores, we mentioned this. 38.5 for Grandview, Life 33.5. This is a big point round. You're going to hit your placement points if you win in the quarterfinals. Grandview has 9 in the quarterfinals. Life has 10. And Dalton Jensen, that injury, he gritted it out, came back, came from behind to win his consolation. So he's still alive. That's a crucial half point to see if where this goes. So that's a little first round update. As far as what we've got, I don't know if I'm going to do this all tournament or not, but I'm in a bubble. Don't worry about my mask. I've got it. I got it right here, courtesy of Cliff Keenan, the National Wrestling Hall of Fame. Jack Carnifex, thanks for that. So when I can upload this, I'll upload this. Thanks, guys.